summarize yourself.
Jason, thank you so much for coming in today to interview for the career services position. Why don't you start by telling me a little bit about yourself while I look over your resume here?
Well, I was recently graduate of Northwest University in the 2010-2011 year with a BA in communications. And I also took quite a few business classes because I used to be a business major. And so I have a lot of experience in that as well. Besides that, I did a couple internships my last year at Northwest. One was a communications internship, which was basically where I did play-by-play broadcasting for the school's basketball team, which was really great experience because that was something I never experienced before. And it helped me learn to think on my feet a little bit, go out of my comfort zone. And so that was really good to help expand my expertise as far as that. And then I also did an internship at this place in Seattle called Bird's Eye Media, which was a small media firm which basically helped spread certain clients their social networking, not social networking, but they helped clients expand their they helped to expand basically their presence on the web as far as like Google, search engine, so that kind of thing. And so that played a role too in something I'd never done before, which I liked. So basically my senior year I did a lot of things I wasn't comfortable with, but it helped me grow and kind of moved more towards the business workplace. And also a little bit about myself. I'm very active. I like sports and hiking, outdoor things, my friends or family. I'm really into family, so I go home as much as I can to visit my parents, my sisters. She just had a baby, so I'm a new uncle, which is cool. And so friends, family, active, pretty much.
All right, good. Jason, you said you switched from business to communication. Tell me about that. Why did you leave the business?
Well, I liked business, but I felt like I was more geared towards business, but working with people. More about learning about people, not necessarily like psychology, but I liked working with people, kind of learning how they work well with each other. And so I thought it was more practical for me as far as my personality and what I'm looking to do to switch to communications as opposed to business. I thought about a business minor, but I figured I had enough basically business background in order to be competent in the business world with having a communications major.
All right. And you said you come from Northwest University.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Northwest University is in Kirkland, Washington, which is a little north of Seattle, about 20 minutes over the 520 bridge. And they're a university that's well known for their nursing program, and their communications department started up a couple years ago, but I have some great professors that have come through, and they do a great job of helping you prepare for the real world, I guess you'd say. They require an internship, and they have classes, senior level classes that give you real world experience that help you go out into the world to be more prepared, because they make you work with other organizations and come up with plans. And so one reason I chose Northwest is because it had a great reputation as far as that, had great values, which were good for what I was looking for. And yeah, that's pretty much.
Okay, yeah, I see here on your resume that a couple of your awards come from Portland Christian.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So is Northwest, is that a Christian affiliated university?
Yeah, it's a Christian affiliated university, but it's still a university. It's not unaccredited or anything, and so it's a well established accredited university actually. And so it's affiliated. It's Christian affiliated, but it's still a university.
Okay. Well, I think I should just mention to you now that although we certainly respect other worldviews, I'm not sure how familiar you are with our organization. We are not subscribers of any particular religion, and including Christianity.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and so the reason I mention that is I'm just trying to understand kind of your identity and how that will work in the context of the job here.
Well, I was brought up with values, and they had to do with Christianity as far as the values that I was brought up with. But I believe that the values that I was taught could benefit anybody, not just a certain religion or Christian. They're just good values to have as a human being, as far as decency and civility and things like that. And so I feel like it was an advantage for me to be brought up like that, because it'll help me with whoever I work with, whether they're associated with a religion or not. And so, yeah, that's pretty much.
Okay. I know many Christians subscribe to traditional family values, and you've kind of talked a little bit about your family and that sort of thing. Would you say that's true for you?
Sorry. What was the question?
So the question is, I know many Christians subscribe to traditional family values. Would you say that's true for you?
Yeah, I was brought up, my family, my parents were always together. They never got split up, divorced. We were basically, I feel like my values at home were pretty much the same as most traditional values. I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Are you asking if I was brought up with traditional values, pretty much?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I was brought up with traditional values, great upbringing, no breakup with my family or anything, and so, yeah.
Okay. We all have weaknesses. What are yours?
Weaknesses. I don't like to look at it as weaknesses, more of something you're not as strong at, but that, like, I feel like a person shouldn't have, they could have weaknesses, but they shouldn't let it come off as a weakness, more something they just need to work on. I would say probably asking more questions in a workplace when I first get started, as opposed to just trying to figure it out. I feel like sometimes I can just, if I don't know something 100%, then I could figure it out, which I usually can, but it would just be easier to ask somebody. And so I'd say just be more assertive if I wasn't 100% sure about a certain task, or, yeah, that's probably.
Okay. What color is your brain?
If I had to guess what color my brain was, I'd probably say right now, being straight out of college, a little black and blue, just from being beat up from classes and just getting all this new information and still recuperating, you know, from just being a recent college graduate. So if I had to guess, that's probably what I'd say.
When did you graduate from high school?
Graduated from high school the spring of 2007.
Oh, so you're 21?
21, yeah.
Wow.
So
awfully young.
feels like a long time ago to me.
Well, you know, that's interesting, and so I'll take that into consideration as you answer this next question, which is, tell me what your biggest failure is.
My biggest failure? I'd say probably my biggest failure would be in college. I didn't hook up with an internship earlier. I did my internships as a senior, and I wish I would have done it maybe my first couple years to really figure out what I wanted to do and to really kind of wean through the different industries to maybe better fit for later. But I'd say maybe that would be my biggest failure, but I can't think of anything where I've like tried something and failed miserably and just it's stuck in my mind. I can't really think of anything besides probably that.
What do you do when you're not at work?
When I'm not at work, like I was saying, I'd spend time with my family or be active outdoors, hiking, or whether it be sports. I really like basketball and golf in particular. Golf will probably help later on. But yeah, so stay active, friends, family.
What's the last book you read?
The last book I read was called 3 by Ted Decker. It's a fictional book. I like to read as much as I can. I don't as much as I would like to. That's the last one I finished. It was basically about a guy who had split personalities, but he didn't know it, and so throughout the book you think it's all these different people, but it's really just him the whole time, which is... I like books that have kind of twists at the end, so that was cool.
Okay. So you get on an elevator, and
Right.
Everyone is turned around backwards. What do you do?
I would probably ask why everybody is turned around backwards. And do they respond? You don't know? Well, if they're all turned around backwards, I'd ask. If nobody answered, I'd probably go and look to see if they're looking at something. I would inquire of why they were turned around backwards.
Do you have any questions for me?
How long have you guys been doing career specialists?